Hey guys, Jen here. It's been a while. I'm sorry about that. Here's the topic: flexibility. Do you find yourselves not to be very flexible? Um, this is really something that goes along with that black or white or all or nothing thinking, right? Like, if you're not on time for me at 6 p.m., you don't care about me. This is bullshit. You're disrespecting me, right? Or your doctor has to reschedule your appointment, or a client has to reschedule an appointment, right? How could they do this? I'm searching for another doctor. Fuck them. They don't care about me. This is so unprofessional. If you found yourself saying these things, because I've definitely found myself saying these things, and I've really had to learn in order over the years to help with the black and white thinking, the all or nothingness. I've had to learn to be flexible. Now, remember, it's hard not to go the complete other way when you are learning how to become. When you're navigating the black or white spectrum, it can be very hard if you're over at the black side to go all the way over to the white side, right? So like where you've never compromised before, where you've never been flexible before, now you go all the way over that spectrum and now you're flexible all the time. You are making compromises all the time. You don't consider your needs at all. And on the black side, you don't consider the needs of anyone else. So we want to end up right here in the middle, right? And the way to end up in the middle is to make appropriate compromises, right? To be able to be flexible. And sometimes that can be with another person, it can be with your boss, it can be with your family, your friends. Sometimes it can just be with yourself. So for example, I run my own business, I make my own schedule, and usually, every day, sometimes every week, okay, this is what I'm doing. This client, this time, I'm going to go home, take care of my dog. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But sometimes, right, something may come up, right? Like maybe I've run a little bit on time, or maybe I've noticed that if I move this one client up to this time slot, I don't have to crisscross across town so much. So that's also part of a skill that we call planning ahead, right? Planning ahead your schedule, planning ahead your day. Because when you do plan ahead, when you are making a schedule, you feel confident. You know what you're getting. There's no unexpectedness, generally speaking. But sometimes there is, and that's where that flexibility comes in. So just now, I wanted to, after my second client here, go home, take care of my dog. And then I was like, well, I'm going to feel really bad if I don't go home and take care of her. I planned for 12:30. I should really do 12:30. But then I thought, well, if I do this client and I go here and then I come back and see her at like 1:30, that's still only been 5 hours since she's had her last break. That's plenty of time. And that's a flexible thing that I can do for my day. And I'm not letting her down. She's still going to get a break and a walk. She's not going to wait, some really long time where she's crossing her legs and trying to hold it. The other thing to keep in mind is how to determine when it's appropriate to be flexible with other people. So, I get clients that'll be like, hey, can we move our training session to, Saturday at 4? And if that works for me, and if there's a legitimate reason why they need to do that, I'm usually very likely to be like, sure, right? But then sometimes clients will be like, well, can we move it like at 2? Because, I'm trying to go to the farmer's market. And I'm like, no, you can rearrange your farmer's market around our pre-scheduled and on the books appointment that we've had for a long time, right? I don't give in to whimsical fancy fans that they just, want to schedule nilly-willy. The other thing is, are you dealing with somebody who reschedules a lot? Like, is that their baseline? Like, we've all had this person in our lives that makes plans, cancels, and it's just like, you know what? Not worth my time, not worth me stressing over it, I have clients that do that, and they don't tend to become reoccurring clients, right? Like if they're a reoccurring client and we have an agreement that they're sticking to a schedule, and then they are canceling more than they're keeping, I'm like, we need to reassess. The middle ground here is you're not going to be a reoccurring client, but you can definitely be a client. You just have to reach out to me. I'm just not going to save that space for you. So, you don't want to over-compromise by giving into a lot of unreasonable or innumerable demands, right? So, if a client needs to cancel a week, but they've been paying me and been on the schedule for like 30, 40 weeks in a row, yeah, that's great. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, not at all. Like, that's a middle ground for sure. It's when people start abusing it. So think of a situation in your life where you've tried to be flexible and to compromise, and then leave me a comment in the notes below. Like, what is something that you find hard to compromise about? Is it difficult for you to compromise? What do you find is the most difficult part? And I'm sure lots of other people want to hear your input as well. Until next time, thanks. This has been Jenna, and you're watching BPD Woman. Bye-bye.